I heard my husband call me a fucking bitch on our ring cam. Should I dismiss it?
I think that she should dismiss it because there are bigger things going on in the marriage right now.
He's thinking it and he feels that way about her. And, like, you shouldn't be in a relationship with someone that feels that way about you, even if they're not saying it to your face.
To give a little background, my husband and I have not gotten along for the past 5 weeks or so due to me finding out about his secret OnlyFans account. He has lied to me about it for 4 years and has spent hundreds buying content. Wow. Yes, he could have spent more, but I'm upset about the fact that he was lying. Yesterday, my daughter had an appointment and we had to take separate vehicles because he was going to work afterward. I drive out of the driveway and drove away, and on the ring cam, he proceeds to call me a fat fucking bitch, a fucking cunt, slut, hoe, and many other things that were inaudible. I do not know what to think. It's bad enough already that he's lied to me for so long, and now I hear him call me every name in the book. What do you guys think I should do in this situation? Edit. He does not talk to me in this way when the kids are around or ever to my face. This was only done after I drove away from the house. Another note, I was not snooping. I was recently added to our bank accounts. After 12 years, he never let me be a part of our finances. I found out about the OnlyFans charges only after I got access to our shared accounts in June of 2023. I was not spying either. He beat me to the appointment by 5 minutes, so I checked our ring cam to see when he left the house. This one's loaded. So, what are our initial thoughts?
There's a lot going on in this marriage.
A lot going on here, yes.
I feel like after finding out about the OnlyFans, the fact that he'd been lying about it for about 4 years, that's like a huge big deal. And then hearing what he said on that ring cam, it's just giving a lot of red flags. Like, if I was her, I'd call him out on it, and I honestly think about leaving the relationship. Like, he just sounds toxic, even if he's not saying it to her face. Like, he's thinking it and he feels that way about her. And, like, you shouldn't be in a relationship with someone that feels that way about you, even if they're not saying it to your face.
So, but what, I mean, as far as the OnlyFans goes and, like, spending the money there behind her back, what if he has an addiction? I mean, like, there are people who get addicted to pornography and things of that nature. So, I mean, what if he just has, like, a serious addiction and that's why he was hiding it, because he's embarrassed?
That's very true, and that's a good question to ask. But I feel like if he is struggling with stuff like that, he should definitely talk to his wife about it. But I feel like there's like lack of trust in their relationship, because his wife has noted that he lied about that. And then the fact that he's talking about her behind her back, he must not talk to her a lot about how he's feeling to her face. He must not be good at communicating with her. So I feel like that even if that was the situation, he probably wouldn't have told her about it, because he seems to be very, like, sneaky, will say anything behind her back and do anything behind her back as long as she doesn't know about it.
I see. What were your initial thoughts after hearing the story?
Well, they have a lot of hardships going on in their marriage right now. Like you said, it might have been an addiction that was uncovered that he wasn't ready for. So he is very frustrated. He's angry. A lot is going on. I think that she should dismiss it because there are bigger things going on in the marriage right now that she should focus on, and they should be focusing on, because they've been married for quite a few years now, and they should focus on working together to heal from this addiction, if it's possibly an addiction. Work on the OnlyFans sort of thing. You did mention that he does not speak about her in that way, and that's not normal. That's not something he even does in front of the kids. That's a healthy sign that he doesn't do that in front of the kids. But I know personally, and I'm sure you guys know, is when you're angry, you say some nasty stuff that you wish you've never seen before. And we live in an age where we have Ring cameras. We have technology that can catch behaviors that you wish no one would ever have seen. And so for that reason, I think that she should dismiss it, because when we're angry, we do crazy things. And that should not go to show who this husband is as a person. Again, actions speak louder than words. So even though he says all these things, it does not mean that this is truly how he thinks and sees her.
But addressing what you said about them working through the OnlyFans account situation, he did keep it a secret for 4 years. If he's capable of keeping a secret for 4 years, I mean, is she even safe dismissing something that, even if it was a comment that he's never made in her face, you know, he can keep a secret for 4 years. We don't know how, if he's harboring feelings that he's not talking about. So do you think that ultimately it would be safe for her to kind of just ignore the comment and work through the OnlyFans situation? Or should she be more concerned about the fact that he had something, no matter what it was, to hide for 4 years?
There is a place, yes, of safety. If she adds on all the things that he has done, like you did this, you did that, that can cause to deeper tension, and that just makes him feel horrible. I know when people layer things on me about all the things I have done, it just doesn't feel right. It feels very nasty. I think her dismissing it would be a wise choice, because in a relationship there's compromise. You have to sacrifice yourself. You have to be selfless. And for her to be like very confident and like, I know who I am. I know I'm beautiful. I know I'm enough. And to just dismiss the words of, it's sad because it's her husband, but to sacrifice that in order to work with him on what's going on, this bigger situation with the fans only account would be the decision she should make.
I see. Did you have any rebuttal to that? Any thoughts about that?
I can see where you're coming from with the Ring camera situation with the husband and him not saying it in front of her, and then with how the wife, or OP, she should be more confident in herself and believing that she's beautiful, and not listening to what he said because he was angry. I think him being angry and saying what he said, that's like that's usually, that comes from a place of underlying feelings and thoughts that he has. I feel like if he genuinely loved his wife, like, he wouldn't be saying stuff like that, like calling her out of her name and stuff. And then I also feel like him calling her names, that's coming from a place of projection. Because if you think about it, like him having the OnlyFans, like that makes him all of those words that he called her. Like, you know, because he was calling her a slut. Like, all these other words that involve, like, being promiscuous and, like, out there. Like, that's basically what he is. Since he has that OnlyFans and he's married. Like, that's basically what he is. He was projecting. Even if he wasn't saying it to her face.
Very heavy point. Very good point. Do you think that... I know that you said that he can't possibly love her as much as he thinks because that he feels these things, but do you think that there is a certain consolation to the fact that he didn't say it to her face because he thought that in the moment that he was saying it, it was just to get that anger out of him and it would have no harm done to the world? There would have been... to his understanding, no harm would have been done because he didn't realize that anybody outside of himself would have been able to hear that.
Yeah, that's true. Like, there was that possibility that his wife wouldn't have heard, and most likely that would have been the case. She probably wouldn't have even known if she wasn't looking at that Ring camera.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like it goes into that idea that, like, you know, he's always lying, you know? And I feel like that situation where he did it behind her back, like, that was him lying to himself and lying to her because he didn't want to say it to her. Like, he didn't want to say how he felt. And even if she never heard that, the way he felt would have came out at some point. Because, you know, he has a pattern of lying. He has a pattern of... He's probably even cheated. Given that he has an OnlyFans account, because, like, some people would consider that cheating. So I feel like it just would have came out eventually, because he clearly doesn't care about how she feels.
Okay. Good. And then your opinions and what you're saying, do you think that he doesn't care about how she feels?
I know that we tend to hurt the people we love the most. Who knows, maybe he had this fans only account since he was a child, and this is something he used to cope. This could be something that he has developed growing up, and that's very hard to just, you know, just all of a sudden just flip the whole table around and all of a sudden shine the light. That hurts a lot. So I could see him lashing out in anger towards this woman that he loves a lot out of fear and frustration about the recent events. That is a lot of pressure. But I think as the wife, to be able to dismiss that, that's communicating apart from her to say, I trust my husband and I want to communicate more with him. I want to see more of who he is and what's the deal with this account, rather than pointing that out, like, I heard you call me this and that, and maybe there's something deeper going on with the husband that they only scratched the surface. Maybe there's something really wrong and he needs help, and I think, yeah, this is something that she should dismiss.
Okay. And you think that her dismissing it would make it easier for them to work through the issues that he has that's creating issues in that marriage?
Exactly.
Okay. Okay. Just wanted a little more clarity on your stance there. And did you have any additional thoughts about, especially about any of the idea, the fact that after 12 years she never had a hand in the couple's finances? What are you guys' thoughts about that?
I feel like her not being involved in the finances for 12 years, that shows a lack of partnership. Like, they're not on the same page about basically anything. Like, her not knowing about that OnlyFans, the finances. Like, finances is a big deal. Especially since I'm assuming he was bringing in money from OnlyFans. So he basically had a second job that she didn't know about. And I feel like she should have been included in that, but he didn't want to do that because he was already lying about that OnlyFans. So he didn't want to... It's basically like lies on top of lies on top of lies. And, you know, when you lie to someone, it shows that you don't respect them. You don't respect them enough to tell them the truth. And I feel like that she's just not being treated the way she should be in this relationship. And there's no partnership or trust at all.
You don't think it's possible to lie in order to protect someone's feelings?
I mean, I don't know. I feel like with this specific circumstance, it's just so bad. Like, I can understand, like, if his wife was like, hey, how does this dress look on me? And he was like, I think it looks great. Because he didn't want to be late to a wedding. I can understand that, but, like, this man is lying about finances, his OnlyFans account, and then, like, not even being brave enough to say certain stuff to her face. Like, I just feel like it's a mess. Like, I don't think there's a lie that you should tell in any marriage or relationship that would be okay. Like, just try to be as honest as you can and try not to lie.
Okay. So final question that I'm going to pose to the both of you. Whether she dismisses it or not, either side that you, whatever side that you fall on, do you think that this marriage could end up being healthy for the both of them? Whether she dismisses it or not, could they continue in this marriage in a good way with all the information that we know about, the things that they've been hiding about their finances or what have you? Would it be possible, on whichever side that you stand, that they could have a successful or healthy relationship as the outcome?
I think definitely they can. It's going to take a lot of hard work and commitment and dedication. And I know with a marriage, you see the worst in your partner. And marriage is a healing process. You see the worst and you see their faults, but that's what a marriage is. You work on it together and you sacrifice for one another. And I think since the question is just based on the husband insulting her, I think she should dismiss it and focus more on the real problems that are going on with their marriage. They didn't start off equally sharing the financial spendings and where the financials come from. That's something the husband needs to be taught from now on, because now they're finding, oh shoot, like, you have this account. You have been lying about a lot of things that I should have known about. And that is something that they need to work on. They need to find a new normal. So that's why I'm going back to thinking that she should dismiss it, because there are bigger issues that if they work hard enough, if they commit to one another, they could be stronger in their marriage than ever before.
And to your point, do you think that a healthy relationship would be possible if she did not dismiss it?
No, I don't think a healthy relationship is possible. I don't. Not with a situation like this. Like, I do agree with a lot of the points you said about, like, being in a relationship and trying to be, like, understanding of one another and, like, working on communication. But I feel like this is definitely a situation where it's, like, there's been so many red flags and mistakes. Like, it just seems like he comes off as manipulative and, like, selfish. He doesn't seem sincere. He doesn't seem like he cares about his wife.
I see.
And I feel like if he's lying about the finances, OnlyFans, there's only a matter of time before more stuff starts coming out about, like, what he's lying about. Like, who's to say that he hasn't cheated or done other stuff?
And so what do you think the outcome would be of her addressing it?
He'd probably try and gaslight her. And if she stayed, she'd probably suffer from emotional abuse. Just not being treated the way she should be treated in a relationship. Because I feel like these are all, like, red flags for their future. Like, it doesn't seem like it's going in a good direction from what I know, from what OP posted. Okay.
Any final thoughts on either side?
I'm a very positive person. I have hope in their marriage. I've seen worse marriages where one spouse cheated on the other and they worked on it together. There is definitely resources that they could go to help them. They don't have to do it alone. But I do really have hope in that there is a positive side if they choose to go that way.
Any final thoughts?
No, I don't have any final thoughts.
Okay. Well, as always, I appreciate both of your opinions and thank you both for sharing. This one was a doozy. That is for sure.
Yeah.
I think we all have our own opinions on how we would react if we were in these situations, which is what made this conversation a lot more fun because having to argue sides that we may not agree with ourselves could be very interesting. And I think the most interesting thing that came out of this conversation was the point that was brought up of the fact that there are much bigger fish to fry in this marriage. The initial question was, should it be dismissed? The comments that were made, and I think with the points that were given and the fact that the relationship really isn't going to go anywhere as it is, and addressing that specific point alone isn't going to help anything for them. I think in a way that is an argument that she should dismiss it and focus on what the bigger underlying issues in their marriage are. And if he has those feelings and all these words in his head about, what he thinks she is somewhere deep down, he does care enough not for her not to hear it, but there's clearly things that are subconscious that he needs to work on and wants to work on with her because he didn't bring those up to her face. And so all of that to say, I do believe that she should dismiss it with the argument that was given. So congratulations.
Thank you.
You have won today's topic. As always, I appreciate your opinions. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.